What is the Matrix?
All right, welcome back to a brand new video of the Targeted Individual Program, Targeted Individual Experience. It's been a while since I've done a video like this again on the desktop. Just been, now that I've been thinking about it, just have not been able to get my mind focused enough to do it. But tonight, what happened, again, I'm going to explain to you guys of how, when I am reading something, how they would use sound to confirm certain things in order to let me know what it is that they've done to me, that they continue to do to me, but not just me, but family members, my kids, their mother, their parents, and so forth. The other parent, I should say, and so forth. And those in the community, right? So, for example, me and my daughter went downstairs to bring the computer to her classmate. Her mother called me, texted me, let me know that she was downstairs, and went downstairs, and there was a woman waiting, I guess, for the babysitter, right? And so when we got downstairs, again, this is how they time things, right? Again, anybody who you will come in contact with, they will go to them first before you they come in contact with you. So that way they'll either agree to either target you, or they don't agree to target you, and so forth, right? But I'm just, this is my perception of what, how they do some of these things. Okay, in order to get people to either engage in targeting, right, or they don't target you. Right? If they don't target you, particularly like certain friends that you may grow up with, what have you, they will distance themselves from you because they don't want to participate in targeting you, right? And because they don't want to be targeted, they, distance themselves from you. Those that, have whatever kind of animosity towards you, who those they can use, they can bribe, what have you, will participate in targeting you. So you got to understand that. But anyhow, so, went to drop the computer off downstairs, my daughter and I. As we were coming back into the building, like I said, there was a white woman sitting waiting for the babysitter, and so we got in the, the babysitter dropped the child off to the mother, right? And me and my daughter, the woman and her daughter was in the elevator, young child, probably about maybe 3 or 4 years old, right? And she takes off the hat off her daughter's head and kept like tugging and pulling on her daughter's hair. So we're like making small talk, what have you. And this is done before, and I talk about how, they used to use white men, who would hang out wherever it is that I'm going with their sons, and will point to me to their sons, right? They will tap their sons and they'll point to me, right? As if I'm some kind of, like what they used to do, black people put black people in the zoo, right? Stuff like that, or some circus attraction. So what they did today was the first time they've used a white woman with her daughter, right? But anyway, I didn't really, I knew what was going on, and, as she was doing the hand signals, so was I, right? And, she got off of whatever floor she got off of, and then, we went in the house, right? So I was helping my daughter uh, with her reading assignment. Okay, and I want to show you guys exactly what I was reading because they triggered something in me. Okay, and to let me know again exactly what it is that they've done to me and what the mind control program, right, that they're trying to hide and get away with, right, which is again the cognitive warfare program, and they're making the right. When I was thinking about doing this, the New York Predator Department outside using their sirens, okay, because they know through the microchip remote door monitoring that I had basically figured out what it is, the subliminal message that they were sending me, and I was going to expose it. Right? See, they do this because they want to see who's going to listen to me, or who's going to, um, use their term, believe me, right? Or who's going to listen to me, in terms of what it is that we as TIs say is happening, and particularly with my target and what I say is happening. I'm sure they're doing the same thing to other TIs too, because their job is to discredit us, right? Their job is to do things to set us up so that if this program is blown wide open, and if we as TIs come forward to expose what's going on, they'll be able to have some sort of hold on us, right? So again, this is where the whole setup thing comes in, right? The covert warfare, covert psychological manipulation. And so, but again, I'm going to explain to you guys what it is that they were doing and when they did that, what it triggered in me. So I never really talk about Project Monarch, right? This is again supposed highly classified CIA MKULTRA program, right, in which the CIA uses trauma-based mind control conditioning to create slaves, right? Whether it be sex slaves, what have you. And I think this is what they do to a lot of black women in particular, right? Like Pam and so forth, right? And they don't understand it, right? This is how they create the hypersexual black females who are just, what's the word I'm looking for? Who have no problem just, being sexually fluid, right, with whoever, you know what I'm saying? Most of them, like I said, Hispanic women and black women are the two most group of women in America who identify as lesbian, bisexual, right, so forth, right? Those are the two groups that have, at least for black women, it's about 30% of black women. Probably Hispanics, about probably in the mid 30s. Okay, but this is what they're doing. Okay. So anyway, let me just pull up the reading material as what I was reading. My daughter reading assignment, and let's see here. Right. Okay. So she had to read this. So I had her read it first, and then I started reading it. So while she was reading it to me, they were not using their sirens. They was not using the call horn, the noise, what have you. But when I start reading it, they started using the sirens and the noise, right? Particularly, right, when it came to these words, okay? The rooftops, right? Butterflies, okay? As I said, butterflies. The New York Police Department began using the sirens. And Monarch, where it says here, let me just read this. This is, what is it? They have 1, 2, you have the number. So number 2, right? The second paragraph, right? The rooftops abound with winged wildlife. More than 200 bird species were found in the city. Actually, let me go back and read this again properly so I can do the sound effects. Right? The rooftops abound with winged wildlife. More than 200 bird species are found in the city, including blue jays, robins, dove, finches, crows, gulls, and woodpecker. Peregrine falcons and osprey uh, nest on skyscrapers and bridges. New York also loved to watch butterflies. Each year, thousands of monarch butterflies pass through the streets during their fall migration to Mexico. Right? And let not forget nature's insect control. What have you. So as I'm reading it, these are in this paragraph is where they start using the sirens and call horn. Now, it didn't dawn on me, like I heard the butterfly thing, when they use the call horn or what have you in the rooftop or have you using the sirens. But it wasn't until I started sitting down, and then I had a flash of image flash in front of in my mind. Okay, now early on in my targeting, okay, actually, was it before I started to really realize what was happening? I went to a party, right? I was invited to a party, and this was like 2000, probably the summer of 2000, right? And if I'm not mistaken, either 2000, 2001. Can't really remember the exact date, right? But I'm standing, and here they're using the right signal, a signal, the sound, right, right, and this young woman, I mean, I was pretty young myself. I was like about 30 years old, right? Probably even 31 years old. Okay. And she stand up in front of me, and she parted her hair from the back so I could see her neck. And she had a tattoo of a butterfly on her neck. Right. So it's strange, but I didn't even think about that until I got home, and then I started I said to myself, you know what, I was going to take my phone and show you guys exactly, but so then I just started reading, and then monarch, and as soon as in my mind I saw the word monarch, that image just flashed in my mind. Okay. And so I was like, okay, that's strange. So I went and I said to myself, wait, I know the CIA had a Project Monarch mind control experiment, right? So I was doing some searches for, Project Monarch. Didn't really find anything except, because I don't think it was listed under the MKUltra sub programs. If it is, I couldn't find the declassified document on this particular sub project. Now you can find others like Artichoke, Project Climax, and stuff like that. You can find those, but when it comes to the Project Monarch, I really couldn't find it. But what I did find was this. Okay, it said, "How does Project Monarch work?" And this was from what is this? Might be Colorado State. Okay, University, EDU, Colorado State EDU. Right. So how does Project Monarch work? Right, expose truth. Project Monarch is a purported mind control program that had been shrouded in mystery and controversy. The project is believed to be a part of as I said, controversy, New York Predator Department. All right. The project is believed to be part of a larger CIA mind control program. As I said, the word larger, a CIA mind control program, which was officially known as Project MKUltra. While the existence of Project Monarch has not been officially confirmed, there are numerous reports and allegations that suggest it was a real program. In this article, we will dive into alleged workings of Project Monarch and explore the claims surrounding this mysterious program. All right, I'm not going to go through the history and all this stuff, but I want to talk about the techniques, which is important because I've been talking about this for a very long time, for over a decade. Okay. When I realized that what they were doing, that's why when I talk about particularly us as Black people being in a mind control program outside of the confinements of, like I said, the penitentiary or the psychiatric facilities, right? But this is an open-based societal mind control product that is done to Black people, and is what? It's based on trauma-based fear conditioning. Okay, and what that is, okay, when it said the alleged Project Monarch techniques, trauma-based mind control, use of physical and emotional trauma to create disassociation and compartmentalization. Now, in the Army, they train soldiers to create a disassociation and to compartmentalize certain things, right? In order to turn them into killers, basically. So they need to have them dissociate themselves from looking at an enemy as a human being, but as an enemy that they can kill, right? And they're able to compartmentalize that emotion, that feeling, that moral construct, right? And just place it deep into their mind so they become, killers, right? Hypnosis. The use of hypnosis to act and control alternate personalities, right? But also, which they don't talk about here, is the use of, again, I talk about pulse, radio wave, and microwave frequency. Okay, as I talk about radio from microwave frequency, New York Fire Department using their sirens. All right? Yes. And that is also used to hypnotize you or to condition you while you're sleeping, the hijacking of your conscious mind because you're microchip. And remember, okay, China has also developed these technologies. Okay, so when they want to doubt you and to say, "Oh, that's conspiracy theories," there are a lot of articles, including from the Department of Defense and NATO, that talks about China using, again, microchips, right, in order to manipulate and control people. All right, so they can deny it because, again, they have the plausible deniability thing going on. But based on their concern with China, right, in terms of China using, again, radio wave, microwave frequency for mind control as well as BCI, right, brain computer interface. Okay. All right. So psychotropic drugs, use of psychotropic drugs to induce altered state of consciousness and increase suggestibility. Now, most TIs that I know have talked about being drugged, including myself. Okay. So again, let me just read this. It says the programming process allegedly used in Project Monarch involved the use of trauma-based mind control, which includes the infliction of physical and emotional trauma on the subject. This trauma was believed to create a state of disassociation, allowing the subject to compartmentalize their memories and create alternate personalities. The programmers could then access and control these alternate personalities, using them to carry out their assignments. Okay. Now, they're not programming us to become assassins or engage in espionage. What they are programming us to do, or what they have programmed us to do, is to behave in negative ways, right? In order to have us make a mistake and then come in and act as if they're here to save us, right? Meanwhile, both you and let me just let me rephrase this. Say this in the right way. The people who you come in contact with are also mind control victims. They just don't know it. Okay. Then you will notice strange things within your family. All right. And you look at their eyes. Their eyes starts to look really, really red, as if they have been, and and they'll stare. They'll stand around in the hallways, not doing anything, just standing there. Right. And they've been doing that to my kids lately, particularly my son and my daughter. All right. So, for example, my son tonight, he's standing in the doorway of his mother's bedroom. And I keep asking, I say, what are you doing there? Oh, I'm doing nothing. I said, so why are you standing there? I told him, I said, you need to go into your living room or go in your bed or go in your computer desk, right? Why are you standing, in your mother's bedroom door, right? And then yesterday, my daughter was displaying the same type of behavior. Whereas if when I go into the kitchen, she will run and go into the kitchen and stand up in front of the kitchen, just like Pam used to do, right? And she still does it from time to time. But she started displaying the same thing, right? And so I started asking my son questions. And I was asking him every day, what time did you wake up this morning? I don't know. I can't remember. I'm like, what do you mean you can't remember? I can't remember. All I remember was waking up and then, leaving to go to school. So I said, okay, but you don't remember what time you woken up? You don't remember what time you got to school? No. So again, like I said, a few years ago, I had to take him to get a MRI, a brain scan. All right. And of course, they don't want to have me to have any proof of what it is that I say is being done. So, but I have proof of my medical records of the brain damage, right, and the cognitive damage that they have caused me. And they start whistling when I did that. Right? So what they will try to do if you're a victim is that they will prevent you from getting any sort of medical records now. Because if we all show a similar damage neurologically, right? Then it proves what we're saying is true, right? And they don't want us to have that proof. Okay? So again, you need to understand how their mind works, right? And what it is that they do in order to hide what it is that they're doing. Okay? So then, this is why I'm doing this video right now. Okay? Because I start getting these flashes again of this young woman when I went to that party, and she stood up in front of me and parted her hair behind her head, and she had a butterfly tattoo. Right? And so when I saw the word monarch, and I've seen that word before, but how they did it tonight, I said, okay, you know what? I got to talk about this. Okay? So let's look at some of the claims of Project Monarch survivors. Again, right? All right, so let me just read this here. It says the use of trauma-based mind control is highly controversial topic, and many experts believe that it is not an effective or reliable method for controlling the human mind. However, the allegations surrounding Project Monarch suggest that this technique was used extensively in the program. Well, of course it has. Listen, I've said this all the time. When you look at the behavior of black people, particularly you look at in the 90s, the early 2000s, black men, right, and young black boys, how they were behaving. After Hillary Clinton came out and say something about, super predators, right? So what happened? They will give you these keywords in terms of when they label us, they'll turn us into what they label us. Okay? Again, you hear the prayer to the department, because it's true. It is true. Go and do the research. In the 1990s, what were they doing? What was the health department doing all across America? Taking DNA from black boys. Okay? What were they doing? They were doing DNA experiments to see if they can find a gene for criminal behavior. Now, we know that there is no gene for criminal behavior, but what they were doing, again, is to identify us through our genetic material. Okay? See, I keep saying this. They know who we are. They know who we are descendants of. We don't. All right? This is why, again, they used to use the sirens when it comes to anything that had a pyramid shape. So if I was to draw a pyramid, a slice of pizza that has a pyramid shape, a triangle, you know, and they were sending me subliminal messages of they were trying to find our ancestors, the ones who built the pyramids, the one who built the monuments and the monolithic structures in Kemet. Okay? So, let's continue. The claims of Project Monarch survivors. Before I forgot this. So I said, look at the behavior between young black boys, even today, right? And then also look at the behavior between young black women, particularly over the past decade and a half, how they've been conditioning young black women to behave in these sort of negative behavior while being rewarded, right? And also, the use of rap music and so forth to influence young people, particularly when it comes to the use of drugs, right? Molly, Percocet, and all these other so-called party drugs. But what those party drugs are is a way for them to, affect you in terms of your sexuality. So it heightens your sexual experience, and it leaves you open to engaging in same-sex activities or even bisexual activities, right? Okay. All right. Yeah, you gotta use the call horn. All right. Because again, I'm right. So, claims of Project Monarch survivors. There's numerous claims from individuals who allege that they were subjects of Project Monarch. These individuals, often referred to as Project Monarch survivors, claim to have undergone the programming process and to have been used for a variety of purposes, including espionage and assassination. While these claims are difficult to verify, they provide a glimpse into the alleged inner workings of the program. This verifiable evidence, despite the numerous claims surrounding Project Monarch, there is limited verifiable evidence to support the existence of the program. The CIA, as I said, the word support the existence. Okay. All right. That's the spitting sound. All right. The CIA has officially denied the existence of Project Monarch, and many of the documents related to the program are still classified. However, there are some documents and reports that suggest the CIA did engage in mind control research during the 1960s and 1970s, including the use of hypnosis and psychotropic drugs. Okay? So, so I just wanted to document this because, again, of what happened tonight. Okay? Now, see, we just think that they experiment in mind control here in the United States. Right? But they've been doing it across multiple countries, across continents for decades. Okay? And this is from Global Times. And here they talk about, because you also know that they had mind control, and not mind control, but they did the syphilis experiments in Guatemala, in other countries in South America. I think Costa Rica was one of them. Because I remember reading from Tulane University website that they had also engaged in the STD experiments in Guatemala, as well as Costa Rica, as well as Mexico. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, but also in the Caribbean, because you got to remember that the CIA was very active in the Caribbean. Okay, So, it says let me just read here. MKULTRA is the name of the human experimentation program designed and undertaken by the U.S. and its notorious spy agency, the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA. It started on April 13, 1953, and lasted for 20 years. Okay? So again, say how long it lasted. All right? It was the height of the Cold War, and the U.S. Designed covert operation, among which was MKUltra, aimed at developing tools that could be used against Soviet bloc enemies to control human behavior with drugs and other psychological manipulators. Psychedelic drugs, paralytics, and electroshock therapy, all heinous and inhumane techniques, were clandestine but routinely used on humans. They include citizens from the U.S. and other countries who were unwitting test subjects and encapsulation of immense human rights violation. Still goes on today. Okay? Me, myself, is a targeted individual, illegally implanted with a microchip, covertly drugged, right? And I talk about the coercive persuasion programming, right? All part of cognitive warfare, neurocognitive warfare, all right? And again, as I talk about cognitive warfare, they do the spit and sound, all right? Many experiments were conducted in Fort Detrick as a key base of operation. Many people died as a result of these experiments. Those who survived had their memories forcibly erased, forgetting their names and having their personalities irrevocably altered, and face threats to their lives, living in fear for the remainder of their days. More than 40 years later, the physical, mental, emotional, social horrors and injuries are still with her, which is Rahola told the Global Times. All right, U.S. mind control scheme, psychosis induction of Rahola started when she was 5 or 6 while attending a parade in London. She was then brought to the U.S. where CIA operative would continuously use a recording player over a tape recorder to embed in her mind what they wanted her to become in her own memory, or I should say her own mind. Like I said, you know, when they do this to black people, okay, in society, mind control in society being done to black people. All right? But anyhow, I just want you guys to think about that, right? And also to give you, and to document, you know, how they can trigger certain memories by doing what they do, and how the use of sound, the call horn, the sirens, right? One is the coercive, well, more than one. So the ambulances, the fire trucks, the police sirens, the predator police sirens is used as a coercive threats, right? The car horn, the honking is used as a confirmation, right? So again, when I read about the butterflies and monarch butterflies, they would use the car horn, right? When I talk about the rooftop, they would use the sirens, you know, and, you know, throwing people off rooftops, you know, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But this is what they do, okay? And I just wanted to document that, just to show you guys and explain to you guys and expose what it is that they continue to do. All right? So with that being said, I'll talk to you guys on the next video.